Hello. Well, you're not the little woodland creatures I was expecting, but I think it's nice that you're here. Good morning. Welcome to MS4, and today I am channeling my inner Giselle, both the Giselle from the original Enchanted and now the Giselle from DisEnchanted. This film is going to be streaming on November 18th, and I just am very excited for it. So I was liking that idea of being able to do a look, both the softer, lovelier, more romantic side of Giselle, and then the evil, or becoming more evil side of Giselle. So I had picked up a couple of different pictures off the internet, and looking at Giselle's initial look. Now all of these are actually fairly light looks. Amy Adams has a fairly light to fair skin tone. That's kind of like the natural redhead inclinations. And so most of the makeup, even in the evil stepmother looks, still is fairly light technically, but they are using some interesting things with color. And if you look at all of the, and especially the original, the way that the dark liner is used on Amy Adams, there's more of a play of the liner up top in that center part of the eye, and not a lot necessarily on the bottom of the eye. But today what I'm going to do, I already have makeup on. I have as a serum the Natasha Denona Hy-Gen, which I'm going to have a video on this in the strange formulations category. This is weirder than you think. It is not just like the Charlotte Tilbury light sorts of things. It's a very weird formula. So, but I have it on as a serum just to give me some of that sparkle. And then the Wet n Wild tinted moisturizer. And so everything will be in the box below. But we're gonna start out. I'm gonna play with my Lethal Cosmetics. I got my Space Bacon blush, which on me reads more like a highlighter, but it's gonna be perfect for this look because it's, and let me see if I can build that up on my hand a little bit so you can see it. So for me, it's just more of a light color read and there we go, sparkly, sort of a highlighter. But I want to keep this as a very natural look. So we're gonna go in, we're gonna start with that on the cheeks. And then for the eyes, we're also gonna be going with Lethal, and we're going to be doing the Theresa's Lethal compact because the pinks, like the pinks and purples in here, are very pretty. And so we're gonna do more of that to match my ensemble, my clothes. So we're gonna do that with the pinks and the purples out of the Theresa's Lethal, because even though this has a lot of the spacey greens and then the bright silver, you can make a really pretty with the light gray and the pink, and this very pretty soft look with this. So that's what we're going to be playing with today, and then we shall come back for some Evil Queen. Yes. Okay, so starting in with the Space Blush, the Space Bacon. The nice thing about this is it's a magnetic pan, and it's, you know, you can put it in anything. This is just a Colourpop pan that I've got here. But the idea being, these are blushes, but for me, just because I have they're more on that highlighter look, and I know I just said that, but anyway, I'm very excited today if you hadn't noticed. Okay, so you can see the color, but you can also see how sparkly this is. So really embracing that. Now in Enchanted, when Giselle first pops into the real world, she's in her wedding garb, and she's got the very sparkly lip. And that's kind of the sort of light that I wanted to think about. And you don't really see a lot of her, you know, she doesn't have contour, she's not snatched, but she's very pretty light. Okay, so I am super sparkly, but I'm okay with that. Okay, so we're gonna pop into the compact now. The Enchanted movie is one that I watch whenever I'm sick and I just need some comfort. It just like I curl up on the couch and I watch Enchanted. I enjoy the music and the dance numbers, and I enjoy the fun so hopefully, I think even if the Enchanted movies are not your thing or you're not excited about the new Enchanted, hopefully it's still, you know, it's the idea of having that very soft romantic look that you might enjoy. Okay, so there's just the color. This is Pew Pew out of the Teresa's Lethal palette. I'm mixing my space and my Enchanted metaphor there, but that's Pew Pew. Okay, and then I'm going to go into Plutonian, the purple shade. And just very, very lightly on the bottom. I'm trying to think of what movie I've been as excited about it coming out. Nothing's springing to mind right for this year. There's movies I'm excited about, don't get me wrong. Like, you know, anything in the Marvel universe I'm pretty much stoked about. Okay, and since I do want to keep that princess look, I am going to pop into TV Dinner, but I'm going to try to do it very, very sparingly, but have my inner corner highlight because it's a very serious sparkle. So let me do off my brush really quick here. And this time I'm going in with the pencil brush. And I'm going to do my inner corner highlight first. Make sure that it's there. Okay, and then I'm going to take it just a little bit onto the lid, a little bit under. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pencil brush again, and I'm going to go in with black because again we're trying to do a variation on the actual Enchanted. So we're going to do the Laura Geller Kajal in black, and I'm going to start at the center of my lid on this one just because that's where the artist seems to focus on Amy Adams. Now again, this is trying to capture a person's their best eye shape for the color read, for the shape read. And I don't think that I have the same eye shape that Amy Adams does, but I'm trying to have that variation on myself to see if we can capture the Giselle look. So you notice we didn't put anything on the lid. I'm just using that same brush that I put my corner highlight on, just to give it a little bit of the sparkle but the dark. So I'm just building that up and then pulling into the sparkle. Okay, that kind of looks like I've captured that shape on that eye. So we're going back in on this side, starting in the center. And if you watch me, usually that's not, I usually start from the outside and go in, so my deeper line is on the outside for that more almond shape. But I'm going for the more rounded with the emphasis. To make me a wide-eyed princess. And then I'm pulling in some of the silver that we put down from the corner. Okay, so now I'm going to apply mascara, and then we'll do lip gloss, which is very important for this look. Okay, Better Than Sex mascara. Okay, and then there you are. Okay, so now this is from the Glamlite Barbie collection. This is from the pink set, and this is sparkly. This is a lovely thin formula. Almost feels a little bit more like on the side of a lip oil than a lip gloss, but it's definitely a lip gloss, but it's just a thin one. Okay. So now if I wanted to, I could put more color on my cheeks, but this has just the sparkly. Let me come in closer so you can see my eye look. So it's just very, very light makeup look, but don't fret, we're going to go darker for our next one. Here comes the evil Giselle. Good morning. It is very early in the morning, but as you know, the early bird catches the worm. But in this case, it's WYRM. I mean, why else would we be up this early if not to go dragon hunting? I mean, it certainly wouldn't be so we could sit at our desk all day, and that's very silly. All right, so it's very hard when you start channeling Giselle to stop. But in this case, we want to do our evil Giselle look. In all seriousness, I have been the villain in other people's stories, I am perfectly sure. But in this case, we want to have the fun, play, exciting villain. And I had two choices when I was looking at the stills that were on the internet for Giselle. There was a more peacock, kind of teal looking visual, and then there was the more scarlet. And of course, I think I do have the ability to do the teal look. I've got a couple of colors from my Glamlite palettes, I believe is what I would pull from. But I decided to go the scarlet look, so that's what we're doing today. I have on my face already the Charlotte Tilbury. Now I do have this in a deeper shade. I have it in tan, because rather than having that light, more cream or champagne colored glowing highlight, I wanted to do a more golden glow to it, and that's kind of where I'm going with this look, is both the golden glow and the scarlet. So here's where we are. So we're gonna get started. Now, I did play around with different types of products, but what I decided to do is to do more of a cream base for the face, and then go into the powders for the highlight in the eyes. And then I had a couple of different options for lips, and I'll tell you about the one and then I'll show you the other that goes more with this sort of the creams of the face type of look. So anyway, we're going to remove our spectacles. And we're gonna start in, this is the Colourpop I'll Bet for our contour. Now I am going to be doing contour in this look. Now the first one I did not. I just had that very glowy, just a light touch of color blush to keep it very natural looking. And this is a more full makeup look. Again, now Amy Adams, because she has a lighter, paler skin, they don't go too wild with it, but I'm trying to, with this look, I am going for the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law. So I'm going for the spirit of the look, for which on me will be just a tad bit darker. So I'm going to start with the I'll Bet and give myself some cheekbones. Now again, she doesn't go full evil. It doesn't look like. And of course that's the happy ending. We gotta pull her back from the edge. So I'm not going to go completely vicious and snatched. I'm using the Yenza bronzer brush. Just kind of building this up lightly. And this is the spot on the cheek that doesn't like to take color, so we're just trying to bounce it. And I'm going to look very tan, I think, in this, which is not what Amy's doing. Okay, so that's the Colourpop I'll Bet. And now I was looking at the blush situation from the photos, and it looks like it's kind of in that more scarlet tone blush, but it's very, very light. I'm again going in with Colourpop. This is Cruel Intentions from the Wine and Only. But let me show you real quick. So this is the color we're working out of, and it reads a little lighter. You can get this deeper or lighter. But I'm going to try and keep it away from the front of my cheeks because I don't want the Campbell's Soup Kid look. I'm looking for, again, that sort of contoured this way. This is one of the Colourpop Matte Super Shocks. Most of the time I haven't really gotten into the shimmery Super Shock cheeks just because I like to have control over my shimmer a little bit more to do a highlight. But I did love the Winnie the Pooh highlighters. Those are stellar. If you can still get those, pick up one because they are really nice. I will look so fierce for my 10 a.m. Zoom call. That's all I gotta say. We did end up watching Rosalind, which was an interesting reconceptualization of the Romeo and Juliet. When I was teaching high school, I tried to point out to people that, you know, Romeo and Juliet, Romeo had been madly in love with Rosalind just the day before. Just to point out to people, it's like, yes, it's a tragic love story, and some of it's tragic because, you know, it's a 14-year-old. But I remember the first time that I watched the Zeffirelli version of Romeo and Juliet, and I cried for 3 hours. I had to take a shower because I couldn't breathe. So that's the kind of person you're working with right there, just in case you wanted to know. Okay, so I feel like that's doing well. We can always come back in and add more blush. Some of my favorite creators, that's their best thing, is to add more blush. So we're gonna go in. Now I chose a highlighter. This is the One Size Fantasia. Now I love this. This is actually a very delicate looking highlighter on, but it has just a tiny bit of particulate sparkle, but you don't notice it. It is beautiful. Like, I am really, really impressed with how this looks as a thing. The branding, of course, is lovely and special. I don't think you can see that, but anyway, you've got the Mickey in it, and then when you turn it the other way, it's all the little the little things. So we're going to be very liberal with this highlighter because it's so light. Now, to get more of a read here, because we're keeping some of the tackiness from our base, it should pick up more so here. And even though I'm using my fluffy brush from It Cosmetics, I'm going to tap it here to get more of that pigment in, and then I'm going to just do a light dusting over the face. So we've been very glowy in these looks. I am not usually that glowy, but it's magic. I'm just doing it. And to be honest, this is the sort of thing that I would be doing if I weren't having a YouTube channel, because I kind of like that idea of makeup on a theme. And I'm going to go over my eyes a little bit, and then I'm going to take, just as a light dusting, and just tappity tap tap tap. It's hard to check how sparkly I am just because it's, you know, I'm in low room light. There's no natural light out yet. It's that early. Okay, so now the eyes. So what I decided to do for eyes, because I'm doing that scarlet sort of look, I'm going to be using the ABH, the Rose Metals palette. And again, looking at Giselle's eye look, the artist puts most of the black towards this top, the central top part of the upper lash. Although in this look, because it's a little bit darker, they do have some of the color under the eyes and trying to bring a little bit of that almond shape to it while still remaining that kind of wide-eyed princess look by concentrating the darker color here for that definition. This is the rose petals. This is the Rose Metals. And this is a great fall color story. ABH, I feel like this year has just been so stellar, so knocking it out of the park. So I feel like it's one of those things that if you had a chance to pick up a palette still this year, I don't think that you'd be upset if you picked up either the Nouveau palette or the Rose Metals, depending on the color story that you like. I feel like those are quality purchases. Okay, so I'm going to start just with the lighter. This is an orangey kind of a color with sparkles, so I'm actually going to start with that. I'm going to use a fluffy brush, and I'm just going to be, when I place it down, I'm going to place it over here, and then I'm going to blend. And I do plan on doing a best of for the end of the year. It's on the agenda. I get very excited thinking about videos to make for you. Well, for me, but then, you know, you get to watch them too. Lucky you. No, a lot of this channel was just me, you know, amusing myself and feeling like I could have fun but communicate with people who love makeup also. In all seriousness, I like being here with you. Okay, so we've got that going on. Now, going in with a more deep shade, and we're going to be using the shade Noble quite a bit. Noble and Dune. Those are our matte, sort of sparkly, not sparkly, matte, you know, shades. I have not had coffee yet either, so you're definitely seeing the wild west of makeup application. Okay, so we're going in with that matte, the deepest matte. And I'm bringing it up a little, and then I'm going to bring it under the eye just a little bit. And I'll come back over that with once we do a little bit of, just a tiny bit of liner. But we're gonna really try and control that, because usually I like to have the almond shape with the darker colors out there, and we're really gonna try and follow the look. This is generally the eye that I have to be careful of if I'm going under, that it doesn't go sideways and go down my face. So, okay. Now I want to do something just to lighter. It's a shimmer, but not go terribly light, because we want to keep this fairly smoky. So I'm gonna do a little bit of the Dune color, that lighter matte that I told you about, and then we're gonna go into haze for our sparkly. Okay, so here's Dune. Coming in towards the middle and then taking it up. And we're gonna blend some too, but we're waiting till we get all of that shadow down. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with haze. And haze, I don't know if you can read that in this light. This is more of kind of a bronzy, silvery tone. It's in the metals category. So we're gonna just use our finger, and we're gonna be applying that to the center and then in towards the inner corner. Dipping back in. I can put my brush down also, so I'm not poking myself in the eye. As again, it's very early. Okay, so now we're gonna come in and blend a little bit. With the fluffy. Okay, and then what I want to do is take this, and we're going to be doing Royal a little bit under, and then we're going to do our black liner. And this is with the pencil brush. And I'm choosing to do the shimmery color on the bottom, because I just want that light read. I want that sparkle if it shows up. The other matte was more for definition, and this is more for a light read plus color. And then I'm going to be going to the very corner of the eye, and we're going to be taking Heaven, and that's going to be our inner corner highlight. Again, sparkle. And I'm not spraying it, but if you wanted to keep that very pinpointed sort of a look with it, you could do that. And this is also the sort of look, if you had gemstones that you really felt like you needed, you know, a princess could pull that off. Okay, so now I'm going to be taking that, again, this is the Laura Geller Kajal in black, and we're going to be doing just a little bit of lining, and we're using our pencil brush with that too to keep it soft. To have the brush, it gives you a softer application. So we're going to be very, very light here at the edges, providing that definition. I just can't wait for this movie. When I ever see the trailer, I'm trying not to watch too many clips and trailers because there's tons of them on YouTube right now. But I'm just so excited. So excited. Okay, so I'm going to the center here and making sure that I have that because it really does change the look where you're putting your emphasis with your liner. And it's not necessarily, that wouldn't be my daily, but it's fun to kind of see, you know, like how it looks on Amy Adams and what it does as far as trying to make my eye rounder, like more definition here and more definition here. It would probably be faster for me to just place it and then blend it, but because it's so early in the morning, I don't know that I trust myself. So we're using a brush. It's a little more forgiving. But it does take more doing, more time. Okay, I believe we'll call that a day. The rest of me is just starting my day. My eye look, all done. I'm gonna put in some mascara. Now this is also a look that would be fabulous if you wore false lashes, or at least to do lashes towards the outer look, so you're looking, again, having that same contour looking for the face. So now on to lips. So I did play around with what I would call the full villain transformation, a very matte lip with then gold shimmer in the middle, and I ended up using, I used a KVD Everlasting, and then I tapped on from the Glamlite Mikayla collection. This is a gold sort of a color, and so it was a very beautiful look, but very deep. And I looked on with the pictures, and again, it's that idea of scarlet on Amy, on Giselle. That it's the color read, but it's still fairly soft. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Walk of No Shame, and this gold highlighter from Mikayla, from the Mikayla Part 2 collection, from Glamlite, and I'm going to be filling the sides of the lip and lining it with the Walk of No Shame, and then doing some of the gold gloss. So we have both the color read, but it's a little softer. Not full evil, just fun evil. Not porn tongue, church tongue. It's from The Wedding Singer, if you guys haven't seen it. Now I love the Walk of Shame. It's a berry red. It's kind of that combination between a berry and a scarlet, that's very nice. And I tend to, with the Charlotte Tilbury, the line runs fairly light, where in fact like the Pillow Talk itself is a little too light on me. So I end up liking more of the deeper, what looks to be the deeper tones in the Charlotte Tilbury line, just slightly. And I love that they changed this to Walk of No Shame rather than Walk of Shame. First of all, you could look at it either way. It's the Walk of No Shame, like she's shameless, like she's a shameless hussy. And who among us have not really, had a shameless hussy moment? I am embracing that in my life. But the other thing is just like, it could be judgy. Could be very British and judgy and like, shameless hussy sort of a thing. Or it could be like no shame, girls just getting hers. And I'm okay with either one of those. That's what you get early in the morning. Okay. Okay, so you get the color read, but it's defined color but light. And now going in with the Mikayla. And I'll do a swatch so you can see it just by itself. This is really beautiful gold gloss. Charlotte does have a gold collagen lip bath that's really nice if you like the collagen lip bath formulas. I do. But anyway, this is just the Mikayla Part 2 is gorgeous. And it comes with a lipstick and a liner, and it's more inexpensive than the Charlotte, Now, I did go on the upper lip all the way, but on the bottom one I tried to really put it right in the center. So we have just a little bit more of the matte, the darker, the color read on the outside and the gold on the inside. Okay, let's put on the spectacles and take a look where we're at. Ah, there you are. Well, that's not bad. We could, if we were feeling a little too glowy, we could powder over the T-zone. We could also, because this might be a little glowy for a day look. I'm not going to a party. I'm going to a desk job and a day call Zoom. But I feel like this kind of captured it. I do feel, you know, like it could go either way. Good Giselle, evil Giselle. I'll take off my spectacles and get a little closer. Don't panic. Here we go. And again, very glowy, but if I had a choker and like a scarlet colored shirt, we could go the full Giselle. And I like this. So now I am ready for the movie. November 18th. So excited. I don't know what else to say. I mean, just tell me what you're excited about. Like, it may not be a movie, it might be a book, it might be going to see people, it might be a holiday, it might be, y'all, Whole Foods for Thanksgiving has a corn pudding. I did not know that I liked corn pudding. I had no idea. We never had corn pudding as a child or as an adult either. But it was so funny because the mock musical that was on TV I had watched, and it was so funny because I did end up, you know, I've watched lots of musicals in my life, and they had a corn pudding song. It's Schmigadoon is the name of the show, but they had a whole song on corn pudding. So when Whole Foods came out with corn pudding, I got some. I do like it. It's probably not good for me, but I do like it. So I am looking forward also to corn pudding for the Thanksgiving holiday. So tell me what you're excited about. And are you excited about the upcoming DisEnchanted? Do tell. All right. Sending lots of love to you guys. Hopefully you are excited about something. We're always looking for that influx of passion. And sometimes if we can't bring it out of ourselves, we can borrow some from either our makeup or films or whatever's lighting the fire. So this is my fire with the disenchantment. So anyway, hope you are all well. Hope you're all feeling sparkly, passionate, and magical. And we shall see you in the next video. Goodbye. Oh, and happy worm hunting.